All right, here we go. Now we're working. Here we go. We have a circle graph. It's showing the results of a survey of a classroom of 34 ninth grade students about which social media platform that they use. So when they surveyed this class, 59% said Instagram, 23% said Snapchat, 6% said Facebook, 3% said Twitter, and 9% said none. So we're going to use that to answer some questions. What is the most frequently used social media platform? Our Instagram, with how much? 59%. With 59%. Good. Instagram with 59%. All right, what is the least? Twitter, with how much? 3. Twitter with 3%. Okay, Instagram had the biggest piece of the pie. Twitter had the smallest piece of the pie. Okay. My next couple of questions are asking me about specifically how many students said what. Okay, so how many students use Snapchat? Well, they told me not 59%. Snapchat is what, 23? So 23% of what? 100? Of 34. So it's of 100%, right? So this represents 100% of the class, but they asked 34 kids. So it's 23% of our 34 students. So how do I figure that out? How do I set it up? We're going to multiply. We're going to do 34 times what? How do I say 23% in an equation? Good, 0.23. So 34 times 0.23 gives me 7.82. Am I going to say about 7.82 students? No, that does not make sense, okay? When it comes to talking about objects, you either exist or you don't, okay? When it comes to students, I typically round down because 8 students didn't answer that question. 7 students answered that question. Does that make sense? So if I round up, it's not really true anymore. So I'm going to say about 7 students. About 7 students are going to use Snapchat. Okay. So how many students in the classroom do not use any social media? Okay. So how many said none? 9%. Okay. So 9% of my 34 students. Jalen, how am I going to set that up? How am I going to set that up? Number 4. Oh, close. 0.09. Good. Remember, we moved our decimal back twice. I know you did. So 34 times 0.09. What y'all get? He is. No one else is. 3.06. Thank you. So how am I going to answer the question? That's all the work. About 3 students. Okay, word problems do get word answers. So make sure you do answer their question. Okay. All right. How many more students use Instagram than Facebook? Okay, so I need to actually figure out Instagram and Facebook, and then we're going to find the difference between the two. Okay, so what percent used Instagram? 59. And how many used Facebook? 6. So how do we set up Instagram?
34 times 5.9.
There you go, 0.59. Good. And how are we going to find Facebook? 0.06. Okay. 0.6 is 60%. 0.06 is 6%. It's 20.06. Thank you. And then what's the 6%? 2.04. Okay. Okay. So 20.06. So I'm not going to round until the very, very end. Okay. So I'm going to take my 20.06. I'm going to subtract my 2.04. Okay. That's what the difference between the two. Difference means subtract. And that gives me what? Yeah. 18.02. So now we can answer my question. About 18 more students use Instagram over Facebook. About 18 more students use Insta over Fabo. Okay.
That's what y'all call it, Fable.
Yeah, us old people. How do we feel about pie charts? Are we comfortable with them? We like them? Okay, I feel like you're going to like today. So on the back, now we're going to make a pie chart and then answer the questions we just did. We're going to make a bar graph and we're going to make a pie chart on the back. Any questions about my front? All right, here we go. On the back, we have a table that shows the results of a survey of a group of students about their favorite type of movie. Okay, so we have comedy, action, romance, and mystery. We have 42, 33, 12, and 23 students. Okay, if you add those all up, that gives you your 110 students that were asked. Okay, first thing says to create a bar graph showing the results of the survey. So a bar graph is kind of like a histogram where we have a frequency on the side. Okay, and we have an x-axis, but my x-axis is going to be the categories. It's not going to be intervals of numbers. We're going to have actual categories. Okay, so we're going to have comedy. We're going to have action, romance, and mystery. Okay, on the side, this is still our frequency. So how many people said this? Looking at my numbers, I need to get up to 42. So I'm thinking about counting by tens on this side. Is that okay? Bless you. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 over here. 30, 40, and 50. Okay. Histograms, they connected because it was a continuous number line of intervals that were all connected to each other. With bar graphs, we are not connected. They are each an individual bar showing each individual statistic. Okay. So my first bar for comedy goes up to how many? Goes up to 42. So I'm going to go about right here. And I am going to put, whoops, come back. There we go. I am going to put 42 on top. Not everybody does that. I do so I can have a clear picture of how tall the bar goes. How many people said action? About 33. So we're going to go up a little bit over the 30. How many said romance? 12. So a little bit over the 10 right here. And then mystery was 23. Bless you. So a bar graph has individual bars. They are not connected. We label our x-axis with the category that they're representing. The y-axis shows the frequency of how many people gave that answer in the survey. Questions about bar graphs? All right. Number 7, we're going to create a relative frequency table showing the results of this survey. So our relative frequency table, we can dig back to a couple days ago, that showed the percentages. Okay, so that's what we use to make my pie chart. So I need to make percentages of people. So we have favorite movie. And we're going to have relative frequency. So we're going to show it for comedy, action, romance, and mystery. There we go. So relative frequency means we need the percent of each. Okay. So if I know how many answered it, I can use it out of my total to find the percent. Okay. How many total people were surveyed? What did it tell me? 110. So we're going to take each of my results in my frequency table and we're going to divide them out of 110. Because 42 out of 110 students said comedy, right? 33 out of 110, 12 out of 110, and 23 out of 110. So that's how we set them up. We're going to divide it out of the total.
2.6.
Okay, yeah. So 42 divided by 110. Try again. 42 divided by 110. You had them flip-flopped. Do 42 first. We should get about 0.38. Okay. Now, is that a percent?
Yes.
How do I make that into a percent? It's almost there. 0.38 is 38%. That's what I want. 33 divided by 110.
0.3.
Yep, 0.3. So what percent is that?
30%.
30%. Good. 12 divided by 110.
0.10.
It's 0.109. So I am going to round that up to 0.11 to give me 11%. I didn't round my first one because it was 381. So that's about 38 as I went down. And then 23 out of 110. 0.209. So about 0.21 or 21%. You know you did this right if I add up all my percents and I get what? I should get 100%. Yeah, I should get 100%. So that shows that everybody was included. When I add these up together, I do get 100%. So that's a good way to check that you have included all of your data. They should all add up to give you 100%. Okay. 99? It shouldn't be. 38, 30, 11, and 21 should give you 100%. Okay.
I swear it's 99.
You're okay. It's
But you said you what? 79.21.
Yep. And if you're off by a percent or two, you might have rounded something the wrong way. So that's where you can go back and check your stuff. Okay. All right. Create. So like if I would have rounded down for those other ones, I would be off by like 2%. So I would go back and recheck my rounding, make sure we went the right way. All right. Now we get to create a circle graph. Ooh, good times. So to create a circle graph, we have to create a circle. Do it like a Band-Aid. Do it quick. Oh, that's awful. Let's try again. That's a pretty good circle. Okay. We need to make a piece of my pie chart that represents 38, 30, 11, and 21%. I'm going to show you how I do it. You can do it my way. You can not do it my way. It's totally up to you. Okay. I know that's about 50%. With my pencil, I would do it very lightly, because you're going to erase these. And then I know that makes them about 25% each, right? If I cut it into fours. So from here to get 30 and 38%, I need to be a little bit more than 25. Okay. So for my 30, I'm going to go across and then go just a little bit past my 25 mark. Right here. And then for my 38, I'm going to go a little bit more past. Boop, boop, like that. Oh, hold on, go back. I took away too much. There we go. I wasn't done with my stuff. Okay. So this one gives me 38. Nope, that one was my 30. Sorry, I'm losing it. And my bottom one, which was bigger, this one was my 38% for my comedy. All right, so now out of what's left, see how I have two circles left? I can get rid of this one. See how I have two pieces left in my pie? Do we agree one's bigger than the other? So I'm going to make my bigger piece represent my 21% for my mystery. And I'm going to make this smaller piece represent my 11% for my romance. And then I erase all my lines. So we see 38 has the bigger piece, 30 is the next bigger piece, then 21, and then 11. So make sure your sizes are appropriate with what should be the biggest, what should be the smallest. All right, time to answer questions about them. Here we go. What percentage of students prefer either mystery or action? This word right here wants you to add the percents together. So yeah, so my percent of mystery was 21 plus my percent of action, which was 30%. So them together, 51%. Prefer mystery or action. So when you get that or, that wants you to add pieces together. Our last question, what percentage of students did not prefer comedies? There are two ways to do this. Who has an idea of what one of them is? Subtract comedy from what? And how do I say the rest? I would subtract comedy from what? 100%. Good. So not, you can think of minus. So I can do 100 minus my comedy. My comedy was what, 38? So minus 38 gives me what's left. I believe it's 62. What's our other way that we could have done it? Yeah, add up everything but comedy. So don't include comedy. So we could have added up action, mystery, and romance. And guess what? You'll get 62% again. So there's two ways to do that question. Both of them are going to get you the right thing. So we're going to say 62% did not prefer, that's how you spell that word, comedies. There we go. So when it comes to categorical data, we'll work on percentages to make a relative frequency table. We can then do that, use that to make a pie chart. And I feel like you're doing a good job reading the pie charts and interpreting and getting information from there. You good? You feel good? Today's a good day? What's up? You have a question about this? Okay. Good.